Oh, excuse me. You too. RJ, you remember when you would get excited to see a Marvel movie? You remember when Iron Man first came out? I remember. I was 8 years old. My mom's boyfriend at the time, who I hated for literally no good reason, he was a decent fella, took us all to see it. And it was pretty fun. One of my best memories. I got the kids theater package box thing. It had the little Skittles, big ass drink of soda that no child should ever be drinking. I had some damn Milk Duds sticking to the teeth, ruining my gums, to this day. To this day. And it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. And that ending. You remember that iconic ending? The truth is, I am Iron Man. Like, everybody freaked out. It was awesome. And then they just went on a run, and it was great, wasn't it? Wasn't that fun when you would get excited to see one of your favorite comic book, characters, somebody you grew up watching in the cartoons? You'd see them on the big screen, and they would have a lot of moments just for the fans, callbacks, references, Easter eggs, and you would get up and point, that's the guy, that's the thing, and it's just like, and that culminated, didn't it? Didn't that all culminate into a beautiful crescendo, kind of like a perfect ending, right? In, what was it, 2019, I want to say, yeah, with Endgame. You had all the heroes we were introduced to. They all fought, valiant fight, and the big baddie, iconic villain Thanos gets defeated, and Downey Jr. goes off into the sunset. It was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah, to me, that's when it all ended. I watched the Spider-Man stuff. I enjoyed that. That's about it. I haven't seen... Tell a lie. I saw the latest Black Panther. That was it. Spider-Man and the latest Black Panther. Literally no interest in anything else they've put out. And that speaks to the problem that the Disney as a whole is having, and the MCU is definitely having. It's all culminated in the Marvels, the latest Disney flop, the latest MCU failure, and a consistent line, a consistent trajectory of their films going down, down, down in both quality and in box office reception. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 being an obvious exception, as that was a property that people were really looking forward to. That's something that's unique from the other MCU films and something that is very distinctive. It has a different tone and feel than your usual MCU schlock, and that's what it is. It is schlock. At the core of it, people are bored with seeing the same fucking shit, the same crap over and over again. I know I am. It's a waste of money and time to go to the theater these days. And, you pay like $30 if you want to take your friends, and then you got to pay $30 worth of fucking food if each of you wants, a bag of stale popcorn and a diet soda. So it's like a $60 affair for most people to have loud ass kids running around, and it's either that and like people crunching and munching and on their phone and fucking up the immersion, or it's an empty theater and there's no vibe, there's no audience interaction. It doesn't feel like an event. And you're watching a copy-paste movie with generic characters that point and wink to the audience. They look at the camera and it's like a black lady and it's like, I'm a strong woman. I don't need a man. It's like, wow, that's not hollow at all. That's not just corporate pandering trying to send the message, that's totally genuine. That's what people come to films for. They come to films to see lines of dialogue that were shoehorned into a film by most likely an old white dude saying, the bitches will love it. Yeah, give the girl power. Yeah, like and it's a bad business plan as well, isn't it? Because evidently it's not working. Look at the Marvels. Look at it. Lowest box office opening of all time for the MCU. And I suspect it won't be the lowest. I suspect that with future releases, if they don't tweak their formula, it will only get worse. It will only get worse. I haven't seen the film, but I've watched many reviews of it. I've seen all the spoilers. I know generally how it goes. And the main complaints I'm seeing is that the film suffers from a lack of a coherent story. The plot structure, it seems as though there was another movie you were supposed to see before this one, except it's a movie that doesn't exist. It's not as though the groundwork was laid out thoroughly enough in the, 2 fucking TV shows you had to watch, plus the first Captain Marvel movie. From what I hear, it's as though there were events off screen that are just, it's said in passing, but yeah, it's like a major thing. And you're like, I feel like that should have been shown, maybe a part of the film. And it's the shortest MCU film to date, I believe, as well. You would think with all the reshoots they did that maybe they would have expanded upon some things, but I guess not. I mean, why show things in a film, a visual medium, when you can just tell them in passing, That's always the mark of a truly great filmmaker. Not that I blame the director necessarily for this film, because I really don't think it starts at that level. I would say the writers and the producers, more accurately. Disney as a large, as obviously they have a ton of creative input over these films. We've seen, not just with Marvel properties, but with many other Disney properties in general, that they create these extremely generic, extremely hollow films that are solely made, for the most part, to sell product, It's not to tell a unique story. It's not to let a young director or even a seasoned veteran director tell a brilliant story through this visual medium. It's to sell product, consume, buy it, consume, eat the schlop. But I'm not eating it. And a lot of people aren't. We're in a fucking recession. We can't afford the slop anymore. If you want us to go out to a film, it has to be an event. Give us a Avatar, give us even though it wasn't really for me, but Barbie, make it a fucking event. Give us an Oppenheimer. Think about it like this. A 3+ hour long biopic about a dude whose last name probably 40% of Americans can't pronounce properly, or wouldn't if it wasn't for the film telling you how. That movie did nearly $1 billion. You know why? Because it was unique. It's original. It was made by a great filmmaker. He was allowed to execute his vision to the fullest. There wasn't bullshit getting in the way. There wasn't, let's take Oppenheimer and let's make him a Mexican and also gay. No, it was just... It's based on a real person. They had a great cast. They hired literally everybody for that fucking movie. They had Josh Peck in there. And they also had Roderick in there. And they were nuclear scientists. I'm like, what the hell? But you go to movies to see stuff like that. It's supposed to be an event. You're supposed to look at the screen and be like, monkey neuron activated. You're supposed to love going to the theater. You're supposed to see something new. You're supposed to walk away from a film with a line of dialogue that you remember, a moment that you remember. You don't get that with these copy-paste, formulaic, waste of time films that we've been getting lately. And that's why they're all flopping. That is why they're all flopping. Some of it is the whole annoying, woke thing, let's make her black and gay. Or let's make her... let's create a Latinx character and she's Supergirl bossed. Yeah, that's annoying. And it's not as though they genuinely even believe in those things. It's literally just a corporate play to make money, which is probably the worst thing. It'd be different if they really believe that shit, but they don't even believe that shit. It's very see-through. And it's some of that, but for the most part, it's just seeing the same stupid shit over and over again. Sloppy CGI, looks like a PS2 game. These $300 million movies, the CGI is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'd rather watch Terminator 2. Beautiful CGI. Excellent. Yeah, that's about it. The MCU is dead. Stick a fork in it. They can maybe re-strategize, and I would like to see them go more of a mid-budget route. Tell smaller stories with more ground-level characters, and let directors actually tell a vision. Yeah, that would be the way to go, I believe.